Could an old friend return to the NFC North, but not in the way you think? I saw this. It doesn't directly tie into the Detroit Lions. It could be a bunch of fluff, just a bunch of clickbait speculation. But hey, I got to talk about it because it involves the NFC North and our former quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Now, we know that the LA Rams are willing to move on from Cooper Kupp for a second-round pick and eat some of his assets in order to trade him away. Does that mean that the Rams feel like the time has come, that it might be time to move on from these guys? Now, as far as Stafford is concerned, Stafford, as far as I understand, is on like a glorified one-year deal. There was a little bit of trouble in the offseason. He wanted a new contract or some security. The Rams gave him, I believe, what is essentially a one-year deal. But check this out. I don't know the validity of this source. I saw it. It's making the rounds. I know Detroit Lions fans are going to talk about it. I know other content creators are going to talk about it. So guess what? I have to talk about it too. And that is that according to Jack Settleman, who has, I'm not sure, like I said, the validity, the trustworthiness, but it could be something to this, says sources. The Vikings and Rams are in serious trade talks for Matthew Stafford. Minnesota made a push to trade for Stafford this offseason, but now revisiting the idea that he can be the piece to help them win a Super Bowl this season. It gets better. Check this out. Going back to his previous, he also retweets this and says, reuniting Stafford with head coach Kevin O'Connell in an all-in move. Minnesota believes it needs Stafford to upgrade at QB this season. Meanwhile, the Rams have growing interest in signing Sam Darnold long-term if this happens. So if you're following this whole thing, Stafford won the Super Bowl with Kevin O'Connell. After that season, Kevin O'Connell takes the job with the Minnesota Vikings head coaching staff. This will be the second team, if this is true, that thinks Matthew Stafford is the missing piece. Meanwhile, if this was to happen, Sam Darnold would essentially become the long-term answer at quarterback for the LA Rams. This is crazy. If it is any truth to this, this is crazy. Simply because, I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. It kind of makes sense. I'm going to tell you why. I have no inside sources, just from a speculation fan standpoint. The Minnesota Vikings went up against the Detroit Lions. We beat them, okay? Maybe they saw enough in Sam Darnold, because the thing about Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold, but the thing about the Minnesota Vikings, it was like, who have you played? Who have you played? And you could see kind of a gradual fall off in Sam Darnold, even though the team was kind of still winning. And you're wondering how long he can keep this up. I'm not saying that this is true. I don't know if it's true. But I also could see it happening, because the Vikings understand, as a team who's never won a Super Bowl, that they know whether or not they can do it with Sam. And when you went up against a real team, because see, the San Francisco 49ers, they're the team that everybody, we got to fear them, blah, blah, blah. And rightfully so. They're the defending NFC champions. They've been there. They've been there, to the NFC title game like the last 5 years in a row, some crazy stat like that. So they are the team to beat. But maybe they weren't as tough as they have been in previous years. Stafford still can sling that thing. He still can sling that thing. Now, why am I making a video about this? Could you imagine Matthew Stafford coming back in a trade to the Minnesota Vikings and be the person that we have to go through to go? I thought the Rams situation was bad, meaning the storyline with that whole thing. You're talking about if this is true, this is crazy. Now, again, I'm prefacing this by saying I don't know, but I know that this is going to be a conversation. And in this YouTube game, you got to get ahead of it. You have to get ahead of it, because everybody's going to be talking about it. I am one of those guys, okay? But this is crazy. Now, a little background on Jack Settleman. He is the CEO and founder of Snapback Sports, and has over 56,000 followers. So I don't know, that necessarily doesn't mean that he has any credibility to what he's talking about. But at the same time, just the fact that this could be something is worth talking about. But could you imagine Matthew Stafford getting traded? I'll tell you what, if that was to happen, if Stafford comes back in the NFC North via the Minnesota Vikings, Brad Holmes will trade for Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. It will happen. The Minnesota Vikings, as much as I hate this, Minnesota Vikings will be a better team with Matthew Stafford. Could you imagine Matthew Stafford, Justin Jefferson? He cannot move, but he still can sling that thing. So we would have no choice but to get, and he's got a super quick release as well. Very familiar with this guy. If that were to happen, Brad Holmes would have no choice but to trade for an edge rusher, a dog edge rusher, not one of these second, third tier guys. But I wanted to get this out and see how you guys feel about the potential of Matthew Stafford coming back in the NFC North via a trade. I think that there is some validity to this simply because we are now seeing what the Rams are doing with Cooper Kupp. They might be in a mode where it's time to move on. It's time to move on because Stafford is not going to be there forever. Now, I don't know what the Vikings would do after this. They still got J.J. McCarthy. So would this be a one and done for Stafford? Again, I have not looked at his contract. That's not important to me. What's important to me is what could happen in the next literally 14 days. So this would be something crazy if it happens, but keep an eye on it. Let me know what you think. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. I tell you what, Stafford get traded to the Minnesota Vikings. Lions are winning. They're trading for Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, and we're winning the Super Bowl. The storyline is already set up. I thought the Rams storyline was this right here would be crazy. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. And as always, go Lions. Man, this has got to be the most interesting trade deadline in recent memory. Also, I am going to the game on Sunday. Shout out to my guy. You know who you are. I got a ticket to the Tennessee Titans game. I will be there, man. So I look forward to seeing you guys at the game, man. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Crazy.